Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mop on a Friday morning. That is right. Holy smokes. April 10th, right? Yeah, the 10th. Wow. Well, last night, bowling report, average 207. Last game, not so good. 181, something like that. I was hoping for 3 straight games of clean. No open frames whatsoever. I went 2.5. And then I missed a easy spare. Well, it had a sleeper behind it, but missed that one. But then I missed the 7-pin next. And the 7-pin shouldn't have been a problem. But our team won the half, so we bowl next week. We bowl for the league championship. So, I think. I was told that. I don't know. We'll see. The official results should come out today. So, on to the mop. And by the way, I shot 227, 240 something. It was, and then 181. So 213, yeah. 227, 213, 181. But it's all good. Ended the year averaging 207. So I'm tickled with that. I was really hoping, though, for 3 clean games last night. And needless to say, came up a little short. So, welcome to the mop, titled, When You Say You Do Your Best, Are You Really Doing Your Best? And just curious. If you feel like when you say, there's guys that'll say left everything on the court, left everything on the field. I watched the Green Bay girls, the Phoenix women's team at the NCAA, and you could tell that they left everything on the court. Are you doing that in life in general? Are you leaving everything on the court? Are you leaving everything at the bowling alley? If you're a bowler, are you every night? Are you giving it your all, or is it, And I'm going to tell you right now, that is me. I do not leave everything on the lane when I bowl. I think there's mental lapses. I know there was the last part of the game because you leave a split or something, and then I picked up every 10-pin last night, and I left a shit ton of them. I left a 7, I left an 8, left a 9, and left countless 10-pins. And I picked up every 10-pin last night, which is unusual for me because I usually screw up there. But I've had a new angle and a new play at that. The 7-pin just got lazy. Just literally got lazy. Just tired and shot. And, missed it. And I think I did the same with my sleeper. I just kind of threw it slow, and it did what it did. But are you doing that at work, in life? And, quite honestly, are we all just get to a point where in a relationship, whatever it may be, that you're tired and your frustrations and everything else start to mount and you don't know how to handle it and you don't know what to say. So you turn into, it's fine. We're good. Everything will work. And then people say, well, just talk and, let me know. And, I think our mind is not programmed to be on the go, focused. Bowling is one of those games. Golf is one of those games. Any sport you play takes extreme competition or an extreme mental clarity and focus. And at one point, it just goes bloop. And that's why when you throw a 300 or you throw, like Trayton Shep, congratulations, last night, shot 800. There's been now a few 800 shot at the Phoenix Center. And to every one of those, congratulations. To shoot an 800, to not have a 300 in there as well is amazing to me. I look at the high one on the board, I think, is Eric Shelby at 864 with not a 300. So you're averaging 288 and never threw a 300 game in there. Trayton last night, 279, I think, and a 277. It's just crazy to think that you can shoot those kind of scores without a 300 game. So congratulations, because that is the kind of focus it takes, along with some luck. Bowling a 300 takes luck as well at some point. There's going to be one shot, if you look back at through your 300 game, that either the ball sat, you pulled it and it sat, or you threw it out and it came back, and then you had a mixer, or you had a Brooklyn in there. You had something to work it out, because otherwise I should have shot 300 last night, because I had all strikes but 4 10s and a 9. I threw the ball extremely well. I probably threw it the best I've thrown it all year. Just didn't score well because I didn't carry all that much. But the mental fatigue it takes to play these activities at the games. I was watching the Masters last night. To watch yes, they practice enough, it's repetition, but there's many things that still come into play mentally. And, I look at EJ didn't make the cut this week. And I think some of it is that you're at such a high performance level that mentally, physically, emotionally, your body says enough. You either get hurt or you mentally crash for a minute. So I've never been at that upper echelon of pro level. I've never been there. But I have to believe that these guys are struggling the same way, whether it's hockey. Congratulations also to the Badger hockey last night, moving to the Final Four, or down to now the finals in the Frozen Four. All of that takes such concentration and making sure that you're mentally exhausted. Do you do that at work? Do you do that at home? What makes you so successful? And you're like, Chris, and that's where I struggle. I don't look at myself as successful. I look at myself as a survivor. I've never been comfortable in 50 years of life where I thought everything just flowed and everything was great. Never been there. In my mind, there's always been little pockets of battles, and everybody's like, well, that's life. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that is. But I think we also have to deal with the facts of everything else that goes on in life. So how do you give 100 like I've told you before, I don't believe in the 110%. I believe in the 100%. You can try to give 100%. If everybody gave 94% in their life every day, you would see miracles happen. If a team gives 90% or 95% on the court, but they can't do it all game. I mean, every basketball team has their ups and downs, and you see it happen. 3 minutes of not scoring, 4 minutes. Yes, but I don't think they're given their 95% or whatever it may be. Because at some point your body just says, I need to take a minute or two to focus. And that's why I see Kyle Troop on this, doing his little books and doing those kind of things. Some of it's not bowling related. Some of it is to de-escalate his brain and let it come back. And a lot of the pro bowlers do it. They sit down and do Sudoku, whatever it may be, to just kind of take it off the mind game and go down a notch. So to give your 100% at work, are you doing training? You doing all of that? Do you just keep pushing because that's how you're wired? I see a lot of people, and I know a few personally, that don't know how to do anything else but nonstop, absolutely to the grind every day. And you can see them getting more exhausted, You can see them getting tired. You can see them doing headaches, whatever. You hear about them dealing with it. You hear about dealing with body aches, all that stuff, because they don't know. And that was me before July of 2017. I did put all the hours I could into what I was doing. And my stroke, I think, was my body just saying, hey, jackass, settle down. Here we go. This will slow you down for a minute. And it did. And unfortunately, I think that's what you see a lot of times is all these guys that are nonstop, go, 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 don't know how to say no. They just go after it, and they don't want to upset people. They don't want to make people upset or lose faith, and so they just continue to say yes. And what they don't see is what it's doing to the other person on the other side. Whether it be your wife, whether it be your brother, whatever, your family, your kids, especially your kids. If you have a job and you're trying to do everything you can for your kids so they have a better life than you did, you don't know when to say no. You don't realize until it's too late how big a wedge that was, that it wasn't worth doing that. And I think that's how it is with married couples too. I think that's why I saw a post that 40% of women will be single by 2030 or I don't. It was because women are wired to not slow down. That's why you see women having more health issues, because they do the housework, they clean, they raise the kids most of the time. They also, if they're married, have a husband that probably causes issues and dramas, and they also ignore their body. If they have the aches and the pains, it's just a normal, it's okay, we'll pass. That's why you also see them having more strokes and more heart attacks than the average person, because it's a little chest pain. I'll get through it. It's this. Yeah, no big deal. I got shit to do. Keep moving. So at some point, I think, this is me personally, you have to take time to go either mental vacation for a couple days, shut the blinds, shut the lock the door, turn off your phone, whatever it may be, to regather yourself as who you are. Because I think sometimes emotions, everything gets raw and gets short. And then things start just to topple from there. And pretty soon a lot of things happen. And then, not only that, sometimes you make decisions and you'll regret those later on. So, and then you get news of things that are going on and all of that. That really hits home. And I'm not saying your personal home, okay? I'm saying whether it's a person you hear about struggle or just finally gave up and just said, I'm done struggling. And you go, shit, I never saw it coming. How many people have you ever heard of that just ended it? And you go, God, I never guessed. You get around those other people that say it all the time out loud, and oh shit, it's over, I don't care, whatever. That's not the ones you worry about. It's the ones that are, I'm fine, leave me alone, and they go quiet. That's the ones to worry about. And that's the ones you need to check on and send a message saying, hey, without you around, I'd be lost, just want you to know that. I want you to know I'm here. And then when that person does reach out, make damn sure to answer that call. Make damn sure to answer when somebody reaches out. And anybody that keeps aggravating or things, if you want to keep proving somebody and you're just pushing buttons, at some point, they will swing back after you push so many buttons. And the anger will build because a lot of people compress things. Just keep pushing it. I'll be fine. And then holy shit, blows up. You know, for 3 years now I've worked with Jacob. Him and I have yet to have any of the discussions I've ever had before. Because A, we can sit down and talk about what's going on. A, he understood what was going on with my mom. B, he allows people to check out for a minute. Whether it's to go sit in your car, sit in your truck, whatever. Play your music at work. Wear your headphones, whatever it may be. But he also cares. And he asks every morning, hey, how are things going? How are you doing? If you're not doing that as a boss or an owner, and it was one of our biggest things through all the sales trainings I've ever been through. If you are too good and you just go to your office and you sit up in your perch and you look over and you don't personally go around talking to everybody and saying, hey, you okay? Or if you notice something's off, you just say, he'll be fine. But you don't go find out. And you're like, well, you work for me. What the hell does it matter if things are fine? Get to work. Do something. You're screwing a lot of things up. If you don't personally know what's going on with your workers and what's going on in their lives, because they may be at that brink. They may be at the brink where their electric's about to get shut off, their gas about to get shut off. See, people don't bring that up because then they feel like they're failing. And we need to move forward from that. We need to be able to go around and say, hey, I don't think something's wrong. You did this, and this the last month, but now you're here and you just seem to be off. How can I help? Is there something I can do for you? That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. If you're in a small business, it's easy. But if you have multiple businesses, multiple properties, multiple employees, you want to be that big, you better be able to handle you personally. If your name's on the sign or you're responsible for signing paychecks, you don't leave it up to your managers all the time to do that. Walk through, know your people, know who they are, and be genuine. Not everybody's there to get whipped like a mule and have to produce for you. That's where I'm saying. Know your people, know what they're going through. I've also said before, money is not everything. Maybe a person's clicking with time off, or maybe a day off here. And you know, the funny part is if you walked up to somebody and said, hey, you know what? Come with me. Let's talk a minute. I tell you what, how about tomorrow? You just take the day off. Yep, it'll be paid. Just go clear your head. If something seems to be going on, let's talk about it. Let's go. What happens is how the culture works is then other 3 people are going to be pissed off. Have you ever had somebody learn about whatever somebody else is making? Yeah, that doesn't go over well. Or what benefits people are getting? That probably doesn't go over well because the culture's bad. Take time. I've learned a lot over my hot-headedness. There's no doubt, I probably was not easy as an employee. I guarantee it. I was very blunt, very straightforward, would tell you where to go and when to get there. It's taken me a lot. And it's taken me a lot of medical shit to go through, staph infection and all that stuff. You guys know it. If you've listened to me for this now, I think I'm on 370 videos, I think. You've learned a lot more about me than a lot of my family knows about me because I am I'm fine, I'll be okay, everything will work guy. No, I'm not worried about the other thing. I will continue to march forward. I'll continue to prove how I am because that also is wired in my mentality. I will prove you wrong. I will prove that I can do things. That's why when this doesn't work all the time and I'm working on something, You may not want to be in the shop because you'll hear words about you don't want to hear, but I'm working through it. I'm not a giver-upper, that's for damn sure, because I've gone through enough that, quite honestly, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I've been through enough things that would kill you otherwise normally. But then I also see people that have cancer, stage 4 cancer. They're fighting like hell. My brother-in-law fought like hell. I look at my mom, Alzheimer's. I look at my mother-in-law with cancer and heart, and they all were fighters. Stubborn ladies, and Denny was just that kind of guy. Bull-headed, but he was a fighter. And that's what it takes sometimes in life in general. So, that's where I'm at today on the map. And by the way, the sun, as you can tell, is not blinding me today. That's sad. It's supposed to clear up later, but then we're back to rain tomorrow into Sunday. I'm tired of rain. I want to get out in the yard. I want to be on my mower where people just leave me alone. I wave at the cars going by. I can do yard work. I can work on things. I got a project. I'll show you the start of it tomorrow. I've got a project that my wife found, and I'm pretty interested to see if I can make this turn out. Thank God I got a neighbor that maybe has a skid steer. Yeah, that's the kind of project I'm talking about. So, we'll talk soon. And as always, take time to bless somebody, and thanks for tuning into the Mop. So next Thursday, if you have nothing to do, there will be a big league roll-off Thursday night. Jones Chevrolet, thank you Ryan Jones for your sponsor of our team, against Pioneer Print Company for the Thursday night championship. So, have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow. Oh no, we'll talk Monday. It's Friday. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later.